Okay, restarting. Let's add a little bit of titanium white to this. That's a little closer to my personal German heritage skin tone. That's actually pretty close. Let's keep going. Here's a red, well, I can't remember. I just not, when I get into it, I can't remember the names, but I remember in the back of my brain. I remember all of them, and I know exactly which one to reach for when I want to get something. So these are completely non-toxic because they're dirt. The titanium probably has little toxicity, but not much. And I've seen worse. Seriously, don't. I will not do this with the cadmiums. I guarantee you, because I've done it and I've had the cancers to prove it. Now this one is almost kind of purpley, but some people have purpley tones to their skin tones, and the people that know this the best are the people that do cosmetics because they get the best earth tones, whereas we artists get the second best or the third best. So there's that. I'm gonna skip over these two dudes or dudettes, and I'm gonna go to this. We're moving into the more yellow, the pink and yellow skin tones. Yeah, that's you could mix up your own skin tone, whatever it is. Most of these everyone has. It's just the amount of titanium white that is the difference. The difference ish. It's not really a difference. It's just the amount of white. I have pretty white skin. I'm Germanic. What can I say? None of my relatives, ancient relatives, ever took, apparently, a vacation to Italy. They were Germans. Then they were serfs. And then they were farmhands. And then they were immigrants who didn't speak English from 1840 until they decided to change the church records in 1918 after World War I, when they figured, oh, maybe it's time to not keep all of our records in German. So they switched over. The birth certificates changed over in 1918 to from Old German to English. So this whole business about speak English, some of which come from my relatives who should freaking know better. This whole business about speak English, yeah, well, maybe our relatives should have, our ancestors should have done that too. And they did eventually after what, 60, 70, 80 years. 80 years. It took 80 years. Where am I here? We're still just getting the basic palette of human skin down. Human skin. This is our palette. This is our palette. Then let's get the yellowish one. Now you could go, when you're actually painting, you could. This is your basic palette. It's not your only palette that's available to you. Um, there, there are two skin tones on the planet that I've seen that are quite unique. One is, well, let's not do that one yet. One is the blackest black, and you find that in parts of Africa and in parts of India. Well, really, India has the blackest black, and also the Aboriginal Australian people. They have when you mix their skin tone, that's when you use ivory black and carbon black. This is a blue black, and the that is at the range of darkness for skin tones. You would not, if you mixed that with white, you would see it's just it's a gray. This is a warm gray, and this will be this is a carbon. All of these are Williamsburg paints, and these are all natural pigments. And this is a carbon, and carbon, when you mix it with white, becomes like a blue. This was Rembrandt's secret. He did not use any blues. He used all these warm pigments, and he would put in a touch of carbon right in the middle of it, and then it would read as blue. So there's a little factoid for you. And then the whitest of white pigments, what you find in certain peoples, European peoples, are mixes. They're almost greens. Are mixes of yellows. Well, are mixes of all of these, plus like an ivory black and a whole boatload of white. Now, I did not bring out my lead whites, which are a little bit warmer than the titanium whites, because I didn't even know I was going to do this, but I am doing this, and I could not do this with the let's get this color yellow. These are yellows over here. This color yellow with the black. So this would be like the whitest of the skin tones that people, our fellow human beings have as their skin that covers their muscles and their vital organs. Why on earth would skin tone actually make a freaking difference to how one emotes about them? Well, I think I know. I don't think it has anything to do with skin tone. I think it has to do with who wants to dominate who. Obviously, that's true. But I want to address skin tone because it's something that I have studied. This is skin tone. Skin tone has nothing to do with anything other than the pigments. And here's what I have to say. We are all the same pigments, different mixes. Same pigments, different mixes. Okay, can I say that again one more time? Same pigments, different mixes, unique mixes. I hope children are watching this. Maybe someday children will. And if you're listening to this, Esmeralda, thank you. Same pigments, different mixes. I may need to do a third part. Okay.